So character, we are still looking at loyalty, and we introduced the trait the first week. We are in week 3, and of course we're going to be looking at our second key. Probably you're wondering, what is a key? Well, keys in terms of our character traits are points or ways we can put that particular trait we are learning into practice. Okay, or if we have been loyal, to just sharpen ourselves in one way or the other. And we do not ultimately say that that's the only way. There are so many other ways, but we take on a few that we can learn, practice, and of course follow up to see if they are yielding or bring forth fruit in our lives. Well, I'd love to just take us back to a recap of what character is. Character refers to the combination of moral and ethical qualities. Moral, ethical qualities, traits and values that define an individual's behavior and decision making. In every decision you make, it's driven by character. Okay, where is your character standing in terms of loyalty? That's how you will be able to keep your commitment, as we're going to be seeing today, because that's the key we're looking at, and that's how you'll be able to also, take care of other people, keep your word, be honest, be responsible, and all the other ways we grow in character. Loyalty. What do we remember about loyalty? We talked about loyalty beginning of the term, and that was first week. In our learning centers, we have these charts all over the place, and I believe maybe once in a while during the week you're able to go back to the chart and reflect, so that you remind yourself the particular trait you're looking at, what it is, the definition on the chart. We've had several definitions from our friends that we were able to post in the previous weeks, and I believe you have also your own personal definition of what loyalty is. Okay, for you, when they say you're a loyal person, why or how do you relate to it? Maybe you'll share that with your friend later after the session. Well, for our trait, it says loyalty is showing my commitment through difficult times. Showing my commitment through difficult times. That means that the difficult times will come. Okay, well, I think loyalty is just good times. There's a party, I'll come. There's this, but there'll be times when it is challenging, and you have to be loyal. You have to stay committed all through. So that's, I think, for me as an individual, that's where my assessment started. Personal assessment, checking myself. Have I stayed even in the difficult times? And yes, we are a work in progress. Awesome. So we looked at the first key, and that was our care about people. Our friends were here last week. They shared how they are able to care about people, how they've been cared for, and how it made them feel. Their parents have cared for them, their friends have cared for them, their teachers have cared for them, and it's a good thing. We appreciate everyone who puts in effort to see that another person is cared for in whatever situation. Thank you so much. You know yourselves. Also, you as an individual, you probably do a self-check. Have I cared about someone before? Ask yourself that question. And if they are there, thank you so much. If you've been cared for, thank the person who has done that for you. Well, today we are going to be looking at keep my commitments. And with us today, we have amazing ladies in the house who will introduce themselves, then we can get started. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Teacher Eve.
How are you?
We are good.
Awesome. Please introduce yourself to our people, then we can get started.
Hi, I'm Hailey.
Hello, my name is Miguel Olivia Gold, and I'm in Shomri Learning Center. I am 11 years old, and I'm going to be sharing with you today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for accepting our invite, and we are looking forward to everything you have to share to teach us. Okay, friends, have open hearts, ready to unlearn and take on something new today that you put in practice. Okay, what do you understand, or what's your understanding of the trait loyalty as an individual?
What comes to my mind when I hear the word loyalty is being committed, faithful, and trustworthy to everyone, like your parents, your teachers, and your friends.
Committed, trustworthy. Interesting. Thank you. To everyone around you, parents, friends, teachers, and strangers probably. Yes, Hailey.
Well, to me, loyalty is a characterized trait by faithfulness and devotion to a person or group, it involves consistently supporting and remaining committed. Yeah.
Consistent support and remaining committed. I think commitment is literally everywhere in the term royalty or in our trait loyalty. So it's important that we maybe take further study on what that particular word means. It has stood out mostly, even in the definition for loyalty itself. So thank you so much for sharing your understanding, and I believe we are walking by those words that we have shared. Why is keeping our commitments important in building or developing the trait of loyalty?
Why is keeping our commitments important in developing or building on the trait of loyalty?
Yeah.
It helps us build trust,
Okay.
and it helps us build and keep relationships. Therefore, people can rely on you more.
Okay. Trust. Your friendships are kept, your relationships are kept, and you are reliable. You know, people can rely on you. That's quite a responsibility, but we thank God for the grace, and we believe in there we learn how to grow better. Yes, Hailey.
Well, keeping our commitment is important because it demonstrates reliability, trustworthiness, and integrity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Integrity. Are you able to briefly share what that bit means, the bit of integrity? I know probably somebody is wondering, okay, what does it mean to be integral? Yeah, and I think with time we'll see what it means to be integral, because I think we also have a character trait of integrity, and it is important. It comes in our trait loyalty, because as the ladies have shared, one, you're faithful, okay, and of course being integral has a lot to do with faithfulness and being honest. So it's important for us to go back and do a further study on those particular words that we'll find maybe they are sounding way out of our understanding at some point. Thank you so much for sharing that point. Well, we usually make commitments. I believe you're in different clubs. Probably you have friends. Yeah, you have friends that you've made commitments to. Yes, and at times you find obstacles along the way. Probably you committed to do something, but you're not able. Suppose you're facing an unexpected obstacle, yeah, that might affect your ability to meet a commitment you made. What would you do?
So let's say I'm in class on a Monday. I set my weekly goals.
Yeah.
So I set my weekly goals to finish my pack by the end of the week.
Yes.
So the week I end up not finishing them by the end of the week. So I will encourage myself to do better and stay committed and stay committed. Yeah.
Okay. You you make a reroute. That's probably what I would say, or you plan again so that you meet your goals the next week. Thank you so much, Hailey. Suppose you're in that place where you find something unexpected has happened, and yet you've made a commitment. What would you do in that situation?
Well, I would re-evaluate and prioritize. I would access my remaining commitments and resources by prioritizing what is most important by adjusting my approach accordingly. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Re-prioritize. Okay? So that you're able to finish what you're able to finish, and for that you were not able to, you can schedule it in another probably timetable or schedule, and also take off time to talk to the person you probably committed to or you promised to help in that area. Well, how do you manage to prioritize multiple commitments? All of us here in clubs. How many clubs are you in?
3
clubs. How many clubs are you in, Gold?
2.
How are you able to prioritize, those commitments? Because right now we have quite a timetable this term. How are you able to make sure your pace work in the learning center is in order and your goals in the clubs are also in order?
So I set a time for each and everything. I plan for it.
How?
By saying by 3:30 I'll be done with my pace work. Then go for my club.
Yeah.
Then by 4:30 I'll be done then 5 I go for the other one.
Ah, okay. Thank you. Hailey, how do you multitask? Because
Well-
at that point you're multitasking.
Well, I would create a schedule or to-do list for all the specific times for each commitment, because I need to be realistic about what I can achieve and learn to say no to new commitments if my plate is already full, because I cannot have so many clubs and then want to go for all of them at once. I
Yes.
need to prioritize and do one at a time. Yeah.
Okay, now we'll just dive into that a little bit. Probably someone is out there, they have their 3 clubs and they have the passion, not that they are putting up these clubs for the purpose of fulfilling that part of you have to be in a club or something, but they really want to grow in those areas. Yes, and maybe they have a timetable that is colliding. How would you advise that person to manage the commitment in those particular areas?
Well, let's say soccer netball, because those 2 sports are on the same day, right? So I would tell that person to pick one day for, if today, okay, let's say Wednesday I'm doing netball, then on Friday I do soccer. That's why you can easily balance the way you're doing your stuff. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. And in there, I would love us to also understand the bit of communicating. Okay, you take off time and communicate to probably your coach or your leader or your team leader and let them know. And I believe we are able to work around these commitments because we know this person is interested. They have put in the time to practice when they are able to, but because of uncertainties, we give them that pardon, we give them that ear and understand that they will be able to recommit the next week. Well, how do you stay motivated to finish your commitments? Like a personal motivation, what motivates you to stay on track and finish your commitments?
So what motivates me to stay on track is by setting my goals to achieve something, and also celebrating those small achievements so that I can stay motivated.
How do you celebrate yourself? Or how do you celebrate for, okay, not how do you celebrate for yourself. How do you celebrate yourself when you have achieved that particular goal, or one goal or the 2 goals that you set?
So if you finish a goal, just go celebrate, have fun, play with your friends that you finished that thing.
Okay, interesting, that's nice. Hailey, how do you stay motivated to finish your commitments?
Well, I set clear goals, I break down tasks, I celebrate small victories, I remind myself of my benefits, and I find an accountability partner. Yeah.
Thank you so much for talking about accountability partner. Maybe you can briefly advise or share with the friend out there who has had that and they're thinking, what do you mean by accountability partner?
Well, if you get an accountability partner, you can share your goals with that person who can help you keep on track and provide encouragement for you.
Awesome. That person who will check on you, come to your academic projection and find out it is week 3. Have we crossed out our first pack? Okay, and those people have to be reliable. They have to be also committed to your part of having them as accountability partners. It's important. And if you're there, if you're probably friends and you have brought that up, you know that this one keeps you accountable probably in your sports, and you have another friend who keeps you accountable in your academics. It's important that you follow through, even if you're that person who keeps the other accountable. Follow through and make sure the person does not drag on their goals in any way, because at the end of the day it benefits them as well, and that's what we want for each other, right? I don't think that you will have an accountability partner who wouldn't want good for you. It's important to have one who wants to see the best for you. What do you do when you realize you're not able to see through a commitment? Because there are days you will see that I don't have the fuel, probably you don't have the self-motivation anymore at that point. What do you do when you're in such a position?
Well, I acknowledge and accept that I can't do it. I communicate honestly and respectfully and offer solutions. Yeah.
Okay. Communicate respectfully and offer solutions. Very important. Not to approach something with negative thoughts or negative mindset. It's important to always have a solution. Okay. Thank you, Gold.
I look for a solution that will help me solve my problem.
And you work on it, or?
Yeah, no.
Thank you so much for sharing that as well. Anything you'd want to add on the bit of how you, in case you're not able to finish a commitment, what you do?
Like, okay, if you cannot do your commitment, you should inform the opposite person or the party about the situation. Explain the challenges by expressing your regret to that person. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And in your personal life, say, okay, right now I can't say you set goals probably to work out or do, but maybe reading your Bible. Have you ever set a commitment to say, I'm going to read this particular book in the Bible?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yes.
Which book was that?
I set a goal to finish the book of Proverbs, but obviously I just read.
Interesting. That's a very good one.
Okay, I finished chapter 3. I've just finished chapter 3.
You just finished chapter 3, and I want to believe that maybe you're not able to read the book every day. I don't know if that's the case, or have you just started? Did you commit like at the beginning of the year, beginning of the term? When did you commit to that?
At the beginning of the term, but I wasn't able to read the Bible every day.
Every day. So what do you do in that moment when you wake up and you realize, okay, I didn't read my portion of scripture today?
So what I do, I just grab my Bible, then I'm like, since yesterday I never finished, I should do it right now, so that I can keep on moving with my goal.
Thank you. Or maybe just to add on that is, at times you can decide to say, since I didn't do yesterday, or I didn't read my chapter yesterday, I don't know how many chapters you chose to read every day. Maybe if you're reading one chapter a day, is you decide to say, since I didn't read yesterday, I'll read 2 chapters today to compensate for what I missed yesterday. Thank you so much for sharing that. And friends, I believe by now we understand what commitment is. It is not only to what our friends are doing, but to yourself as well. If you have made a commitment that you will read your Bible like we talked about, and it's not that you're put on gunpoint or something, but at the end of the day, there'll be days when you fall short. It happens. It's natural. You fall short and you find that you were not able to read that verse, that chapter. But tomorrow or the next day, you can compensate and read maybe 2 or 3, depending on how many days you were not able to follow through. Then for our learning center, the same happens for goals. We set goals, we adjust goals, we push goals. So you find a way, find a balanced line and recommit, okay? And see yourself through and get that partner, that friend who can help you stay accountable and grounded to your commitments. Thank you so much for sharing. Any parting shots to our listener? An encouragement, word of encouragement. Yes. Hey.
You should learn from the experience you had previously. You should reflect on what led you to the inability to fulfill that commitment. Identify ways to avoid the same event happening in the future.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Learn from your experience. In that way, we avoid the same thing recurring over and over again. Yes, Gold.
You should stay committed.
Stay committed regardless, okay? Just have it as a mindset that I need to stay committed in this, as we have learned from our definition, showing my commitment through difficult times. The difficult times will come, but we stay grounded, trusting that the Lord will enable us. Thank you so much, friends, and it's been our Character First Lesson show every Thursday, 8 a.m. to 8:30. I've been your host, Eve. We had Hailey and Gold on the show today, and they were able to share with us how they stay committed, how they communicate when they are falling short on their commitments, and of course, stay motivated to make sure that they